Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Under the Table Season 2. This will be episode number 3 already. Can you believe it? We're flying down this roller coaster of our new show here on Tablestory. This show would not be possible if it wasn't for you, Story, so thank you so very much for funding the show. And we will continue to bring you some more immediate shows, I should say, that it's a little bit outside the realm of TTRPGs, but still dealing with the same thing that you actually love. Now, I just want a quick reminder that we do have a merchant store. Now you can tell that I play a little bit too much RPGs. A merch store. It's the same thing really at the end of the day. Go check it out. There's videos there that you want to see, like green rooms and other collections of videos and TTRPG specials, immersive cinematic things that you want to get into. So definitely go check that out. Also, season 1 of Under the Table is there for now as well. So go watch it and go find out all the great things and go get some nice little pillows. As you can see, the little face poking out our guest right around the corner. Now, without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Now, today I brought with me a person that you probably don't hear a lot out of unless it's during a TTRPG special. This person's an RP extraordinaire. You probably know him as your sheriff in Wild RP. Or you probably also know him as the orc that may be in Kira and other productions that he's been in, Star Wars, you name a few. Actor on Tablestory and the nicest guy, some people may say, or just the shy guy, as I like to say. Orcish, welcome to Under the Table Season 2.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Well, thank you for agreeing to be here. It's always nerve-wracking when you're a host of a show to ask people, hey, you want to be on a show? And some people are just like, so it's really nice to have already have it baked in that you're going to be on camera anyway for TTRPG stuff. So it's really nice to have you here. And this is great because you're probably the least, and this is not a bad thing, you're probably the least I know about of all the guests that we've had here, which is good because then it's going to be a real good organic interview because I don't know that much about you. I just know that you're a really nice guy. You're really chill. You're easy to get along with. And when I talk to you, I feel like we've been friends for a long time. So, I mean, maybe that's all I need to know. I don't know. But our audience, they like to dig. So give a little bit about yourself, a little surface level.
A little bit about myself. Okay. Well, I'm a Twitch streamer and I very much enjoy the art of storytelling. Kind of my thing. It's what I've always been passionate about most of my life. So, I mean, I do a lot of role play streams because of that. I'm a variety streamer, but I do role play streams too. I kind of do double streams, you know.
Yeah,
I think you do double streams too.
I do.
So you know what it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to split it up a little bit. Give it a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah.
I do like double streams because it definitely lets me, do my regular stuff early on, hit those little metrics that you worry about here and there. And then at night, I'm just like, screw it. I'm just going to go ham, and do whatever I want to do. And if they do well, that's just bonus. It's like icing on the cake. Absolutely glad to have you here. So we're going to get into a lot of stuff. I kind of went over with the format of the show, but it always feels a little bit different when we're live in front of a live audience. And also thank you so much for being here, Historians. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything else of that nature that you want to get to know Orcish a little bit more, please feel free to join us in the Under the Table thread in our Discord. Make sure you join up on our Discord. Please be mindful when you do join the Discord. We do not tolerate any graphic design bots or anything like that. So please be mindful about who you DM and make sure that when you do speak, that you speak with respect and read the forum completely on the rules and regulations, and everyone will get along. It's a really great place to hang out. So make sure you do that. And add all your questions, and Orcish will be able to answer them after the show because we do it that way because some of your questions might get answered. Now, we're going to start off with saying the tradition. The tradition is the drink of the week. What did you bring for us for your drink of the week?
I brought a dark beer, and it is, I don't know how many of you are familiar with this, but you know the strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate ice cream known as Napoleon ice cream.
You know that. Hated it as a kid. Just because the strawberry had chunks in it.
Yeah, Napoleon ice cream beer.
Wow. Holy moly, man. First sip of and I respect the Star Wars cup. What do we have? Kylo Ren?
Thank you.
What is it on? I didn't get a glance.
No. That's classic. That's classic right there.
Oh, Vader. We got the Vader.
We got Vader. We got I think there's a Star Destroyer, some TIE fighters. It's looking good.
Nice. Awesome. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm respectful of that. Today, so sweet beers. Let's just talk about that. A lot of people are very shy when it comes to sweet beers. You just lap them up. You're just like, hey man, this is life.
It's actually, most of them actually aren't that sweet. The ones that I drink, like this one's pretty mellow. It's like drinking a Guinness almost. It's just like a dark, hearty beer. It has like little notes of like strawberry or chocolate.
Okay, that's
in
not
it,
bad.
but
I could do that.
Yeah,
I could do the
it's
hints.
not super sweet.
Yeah, those beers tend to be a little bit heavier on me, but maybe that's a good thing. That way I won't sit there and just be like lump, lump, lump. You know, it's just kind of like a sipper. That's really good.
You don't want to kill a 6-pack of these.
No, or you're gonna see it. You know. But for my drink of the week, I bought something. You know, I was like, you know what, Orcish dressed nice and classy for us. We don't really get to see you like this, so. About the Crown Royale.
Ooh,
yes, sir. The Crown Royale.
Fancy.
Comes with a nice little glass. These are
you
very,
have the velvet.
I do. The bag.
Yeah,
I do.
there you
and
go.
I also got the glass. You can't really see, but there it is. Crown Royale.
Ooh,
and the circle ice in there. You only want one because you put a lot, it'll melt and it'll be watery. So we're gonna pour our Crown Royale. Now
we get to see this happen live.
Woo! Yes. Crown Royale is my go-to in a lot of places. A lot of places carry it. It's a little expensive when you go out because they like to drop like the spice rum inside and just call it a day, and that's a little cheaper one. So I'll be hitting about $12 if you get like a mix Crown Royale and Coke or something, you know, something along that line. So we're gonna go ahead and pour it. I'm trying to get it on camera. Oh yeah, not too much.
You just put it on the rocks there.
On the rocks
or you gonna?
Right here, man. We're not gonna mix it. Not gonna mix it. We're gonna sip it. If I mix it, I'll drink it like crazy. And if I do that, the interview is gonna go. You're gonna be interviewing me.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, we don't want that, not yet. So yes, on the rocks. It's a nice crisp color. It's very rich. Very golden. Kind of look like apple juice. And it was not apple juice. It's not your grandma's apple juice. That'd be your daddy's apple juice. All right, here we go. Smooth. It's very smooth. Wow, this is way smooth. Last week we had Leia, Miss Mythbustered Leia. Well, we're gonna call it Leia since everybody knows it's Leia on the show. And I had a 1792 blend Kentucky whiskey, and that boy, whew, that gave me a headache afterwards, man. That was strong. It was. Oh, really? Yeah, that bad boy is 45% alcohol by volume. There's a lot. Ooh. Okay. This one we're sitting at about 40%, so we're 5% shy. You know, but if you like something that you need something real smooth, you had a rough day, you want a sipper, highly recommend Crown Royale. You can pick it up at any, you know, liquor store, 3 Dot store, wherever you go, and it's very smooth. And it comes very classy. It comes with a little velvet case, and sometimes it comes with glasses for free. So look for the glass box because they're the same price as the naked ones. So definitely.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's really great. And this will last you a long time if you're just drinking it by yourself, Crown Royale. But anyway. Now we got the drinks out the way. Let's go with the icebreaker, okay? You seem pretty chill. I hope I made the atmosphere pretty chill, but we like to get the icebreaker to loosen up the muscles a little bit, you know?
Absolutely.
So those that don't know, Orcish's first name is Matt, which honestly, you are a Matt, dude. I know Matt's, and you fit the Matt mold.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been working at it my whole life. Been trying really hard.
Out of womb, you started with the M, and you was like, you know what? I can do the A and the T and the T.
I remember when I was a kid, I was like, I hate my name, and so I want to be a Jacob. And now I'm like, that was.
I can't see you as a Jacob, unless you're in a boy band or something. Maybe. I don't know. Man, yeah, my for those that don't know, my name is Frank. Obviously, a lot of people call me that. But my mom was gonna name me Jason Douglas.
Jason Douglas.
Yes.
Ooh, and would people have to call you by both names?
No. That was gonna be my first and middle name. But there's no way I would go by Douglas. Like, come on,
you know. Be Jason.
I'd just be Jason.
Jason's an all right name.
I can see it fit me a little bit, but I think Frank fits me really well.
Frank's a great name, dude.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It's Frank, you know. I'm the 3rd generation, so I don't think there will be a 4th generation Frank. Even if I have a boy, I'm not gonna put him through that drama. Every time somebody said Frank, we were all like, "What?" You know, at a reunion or something. It's like all of us there turning around. We get each other's mails. It's really annoying, but anyway, I adopted the name Frank. Growing up, it was Frank Lynn. You know, that's my real name. And you know, when you get to a certain age, you adopt Frank because that's like your man up. You know, you glow up, and then that's it.
Oh, yeah.
That's the boys, Frank. Yeah.
I've heard that before too. People told me that I should be the opposite. People told me now that you've grown up, you need to be called Matthew. I was like,
I can see that. Professional things, maybe. Like some professional meetings and talks, I go by Franklin just because people respect that name more than Frank. Frank is, you know, kind of hardcore. It's a northern name for sure, you know. So it's just like, hey, Frank, you know, and my Trinidad uncle be like, Frankie baby. I'm like, don't you ever, you know. And then my parents would call me Frankie to separate us. So I hated that name all my life. But anyway, it's kind of funny how you go. Now, icebreaker was why Orcish?
Oh, Orcish. Right. Yeah. Okay. So that is yeah, I talk about this all the time. I'm a huge World of Warcraft nerd. I love Blizzard's interpretation of the fantasy race orc. You know, they're not the bad guys necessarily, you know. But also I was able to, I've always been a creative type, and I was able to do a decent, passable orc impersonation. So I just kind of went with it, and here we are.
So would you say orcs are your favorite fantasy characters?
I really like orcs. I would say so, yes.
Yeah.
I think legally I have to say yes now.
It's already adopted. It's on paper. I got the name.
Yeah.
But no, I agree with you. I think orcs are very misunderstood in a lot of things, iterations. I mean, I can relate to that when there's a character that has brown skin, a person that's playing, they always expect you to play a drow or an orc. And you know, in those fantasy settings in the old school, they would make orcs technically black people. Well, you know, like that, the whole relation of how orcs came to be and colonization, all that stuff in those fantasy realms back then to reach an audience. That's kind of what people related to. Nowadays, it's not like that. You know, you got like really intelligent orcs, orc mages, and stuff like that. And I think I like how you broke the mold on your character on Kira being an orc mage. You know, so that's really, I think that's really, really cool, and I like your portrayal of him. And you can tell that you really like that character, and you really like stick true to your name. So. That's
Thank
dope.
you.
Yeah, very good.
I'm really enjoying that campaign. Brad does such an amazing job, and it's an incredible cast.
I agree.
Everyone on there is so good, especially Leah.
Yeah, the chemistry is what makes the show what it is. I mean, you can have a bad movie with bad writing, but if the acting and the chemistry is really good, you can kind of stomach through it. You know?
Yeah.
When you have both, like a good writer, good author, or you know, good director, producer, and then the cast comes through, it just kind of works itself out. Some things can't be saved, but in our realm of table story, we just got really good chemistry across the board. I think it's really
I know. Great. Yeah. It's so lovely to, I mean, you're sitting around with friends playing D&D, and there's trust there too, but also everybody wants to put on the show.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
that's a really good point. It's going to take me to my first set of questions. So we already scratched the surface level, everybody. So now it's time to go under the table. So you talk about, like, you know, I would say you feel like we have a family here, right? Table Story, we're more than friends. I feel like we can get together and talk about anything, like all of us, and be
the family you choose.
Yeah, the family you choose, exactly. So growing up, being young Matt, you know, as children, our minds are like universally big. You know, we don't. When people ask, "What do you want to be?" We say police officers, a fire truck man, and this guy, the other. You know, just yeah. You know, nobody's just like, I want to be an orc when I grow up. You know, so when did that side come out? When did the fantasy start taking over?
I mean, I was just like everybody, every other young suburban child, I guess. I was like, I want to be an astronaut and an army officer and a policeman, and I want to be all those, you know, heroic sort of figures. But when I was a teenager, a lot of adults told me, hey man, you should get into acting.
Interesting. You were told that. I was told that you should get out of acting.
Yeah, that's weird, right?
You know, because they're like, you need a real job.
Don't do that.
Yeah, real job.
I don't know if they meant like as a career, but they were like, you should check that out at the high school. There's the high school nearby was pretty good with plays and stuff like that. Really so cool. I got into that, and it was such a refreshing feeling being good at something.
Oh yeah, brother. Oh yeah, brother.
So I mean, I had been good at things before. Like I grew up with like a pretty good athletic ability, but I didn't really apply myself. So the people that applied themselves, eventually they got better than me, right?
Right.
So it was nice to fall into something where I like, oh man, I'm actually pretty good at this, and people recognize that, and you know, not to.
No,
I mean, it was a high school. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to make myself sound like I'm an Academy Award-winning actor.
No. At the end of the day, we like to, for better words, stroke egos around here. So
okay.
please. But I can't, you know, not to interrupt this very, very good story. I can't help but keep looking at your twin back there. I mean, you guys, we have you full screen. You and Brad are just twins right now. The glasses, the nose, every time you move, the beard, it's just happening. This is chemistry.
Me and Brad we were always meant to be.
Yeah, same. I'm very jealous. Very jealous. Brad's one of those cool dudes. You're afraid to talk to him, but when you do, you're just like, this guy's been my brother this whole time. Lost in the womb.
Actually, well, that's funny because it's his persona that he puts out is like, I'm mean, and I will make fun of you.
Like, fuck you, mate.
But if you speak to him, he's actually quite kind and caring.
Super kind. A little,
and insightful and generous, and he's really good.
He's ridiculous. The guy deserves the world. It's the product of Tablestory. I don't know how we have this many people together, but anyway. So yeah, acting and stuff. It's kind of, man. I love finding out that I have so much in common with people, because the same thing happened to me, except it was middle school and then going into high school.
Yeah.
You put on plays and stuff. In middle school, you don't care about plays, right? It's just like, it's musicals, blah blah blah. In high school, you see theater, you know? So I went through the athletic route as well. So here's the deal. Athletics, and I'm assuming you grew up in the West Coast area, or? Okay, so I don't know how big sports are when it comes to the West Coast area, but I know acting and stuff on the West Coast area is well more respected, because that's where a lot of things happen. So when it came for you deciding, all right, this is kind of where I want to lean more towards, how hard was that to really just come up with a decision? Or did you not?
It's easy. Super easy for me. I mean, there was a moment, I think I was like 15 or something. I didn't make the cut for the high school team my freshman year for soccer. And I was like, oh, what? That sucks. And then the next year, and I was still playing soccer, like at a Premier League, which is, you know, out of high school or whatever. The next year, because of this, where I was from at that time, it was a 3-year high school. So freshman year, you were actually still in junior high. But anyway, so I finally go to high school. It's my first year actually in the building, and I'm like, I'm gonna try out this year, and I'll get in, because you know, I'm bigger, I'm stronger, I'm faster. Like I'll be able to make the cut for the team. And a friend of mine was like, "How good are you at soccer?" And I was like, "I don't know, I'm decent, you know." And she was like, "Would you rather be decent at soccer, like a decent player on the team, or would you rather be like the best actor?" You know, because you could do it. And I was like, oh wow. Back in that, I wasn't as traumatized at that point in my life, so I could actually absorb those words without shattering into a million pieces. So I was just like, all right, I'll give this a shot. I auditioned, and like I got the lead role, and I was like, oh, never looked back.
No. So who was that? Remind me again. Who was that asked you that? Was that the runner, the person that ran the whole thing, or is that who's that?
That was just a friend of mine.
A friend. Wow. Okay. I didn't know what those were in high school. I knew what associates were and people that I associated with, but I didn't have friends that encouraged me. And that's crazy to me that you had somebody that was that mature back then to be like.
Well, she really wanted me to do the play with her, I think, is what it was more than anything. But they were convincing words.
Yeah, I got it. She was just like, I need organs in this. Yeah, okay. All right. Well, still, I mean, the words were very convincing and very good. I mean, it would have motivated me. I would have been like, hell yeah, I want to be the best. Feed my ego.
Yeah, dude, when you're 16 years old,
Yeah.
you of course, dude, that's all you care about.
That's all the stuff that's coming. The ego is just, it's aura on us. It's like Dragon Ball Z at that point. That's really cool. I really dig that. So, did you go to college, or you decided to sit that out, or what?
Okay, I dropped out of high school, man. I dropped out of high school. I hit a wall when I was 18.
Okay.
I had a mental breakdown essentially when I was 18, and I dropped out of high school. I didn't make it. I had just like debilitating anxiety.
Oh wow.
Had no idea what was happening to me. And for like 6 months, I was essentially bedridden.
Oh my God.
Like, I couldn't even like hang out with my friends.
Please.
And eventually I got some like medication and some doctors and stuff to help me through that. But it was a long road to like figuring out how to cope with that. And I kind of lost a lot of opportunities. I didn't get, I eventually graduated out of college. I graduated high school.
Okay.
But
congrats on that, by the the way. I'm clapping it up for you, bro. I'm very proud of you. No, you don't understand.
I was like 30.
Dude.
I was like 32 when I did it.
Who cares? Who cares?
Yeah.
You did it. Like, I'm such an advocate for completing something that was hard. Dude, it doesn't matter when you do it. When you did it, you should be extremely proud of yourself.
Yeah.
And pat yourself on the back because you just avoided debt. Woohoo. You know?
I did. I did avoid debt. Like the tuition rates for those college classes were super low because I was technically still a high school student.
Yeah.
It was like $100 a class. It was great. They were college courses, so I have college credits. But
there you go.
but yeah, I did go to college. I went to they're called colleges now. It was a community college, junior college, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But I didn't go until till later in life. I tried a couple times when I was in my 20s, but I just couldn't figure out I just was never really good at doing homework.
I understand, bro.
Yeah. So
I understand. Hey man, I
didn't go that route.
Damn, thank you for sharing that. I had no idea. Wow, when you said, I was just like, oh shit, did I? I'm so happy you shared that with. I'm pretty sure it shocked a lot of people in the chat, but dude, the fact that you finished, bro, I'm so proud of you, man.
I don't think that shocked anyone that I didn't graduate college.
It shocked me. I feel like you're such a. I don't want to say like such an intelligent young man, and like that sounds so old. But I'm gonna say like I feel like you have those qualities that I would have never doubt that you didn't. You went through that, but that's
so I could lie on my resume.
You could. I mean, you could. I would have been like, yeah, this guy's fine. Just put him in freaking software engineering. Let's do it.
I graduated sumo cum laude.
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah, summa cum laude is exactly how you say it. Don't ever say that. They'll probably agree with you because I don't think half the people that manage know what that is either. Let me tell you. You find out a lot of times that college just doesn't goddamn matter. When you go into these jobs, I'm telling you, dude. Like I worked 10 years in IT, and I was doing software engineering.
I didn't know that about you. Wow.
Yeah. And it's funny. I say, yeah, what did you do? I was like, I was a software engineer for mobile platforming. People are like, oh my God, he must be rich. No. It's a fancy title, but I had to learn everything. I went to school for graphic design and acting in Japanese. All right? That's when nothing about IT was there. I just knew computers. I'm a hands-on guy.
You got that first job.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter, dude. It doesn't matter. I was taking people's jobs that were qualified for them. It's just because I'm hands-on. You show me something, I learn it, and I put it to practice. But that's really great, man. I'm so happy we're having this conversation. I love the finish line. It doesn't matter how long it takes, as long as you finish that line. And I hope you take that to you.
Yeah, it felt good.
That's what I was asking. I hope you really take that in.
I had a reason why. I wanted to drive a school bus, and they were like we can't hire you. You didn't graduate high school.
To drive a school bus, bro?
Yeah.
What?
You have to have your diploma. And I was like, all right, I'll knock this out. The reason why I wanted to drive a school bus wasn't like it was my dream. It was because I wanted to stream. And driving a school bus is really like you only work for like 4 hours a day.
You're so Orcish has plans, bro. I feel like you plan out everything, man. Like, what in the heck? It's like
I could go back. I still have my CDL. I could do it. I can still do it. I could go back.
That's so cool. I'm not laughing because I'm like, that's funny. I'm laughing because I could see you driving a fucking school. You know how cool it would be if you to drive a school bus and then like RP while driving a school bus?
I was listening to you on Rhyme of the Frost Maiden while driving a school bus. Yeah,
that's
dude.
So awesome.
I had like I had one earbud in.
That's so freaking awesome.
I was listening to that campaign while I was dropping kids off.
We're best friends now. It's just like that slot is filled by whack. Just kidding. But I'm serious about the best friend thing. This is so awesome, man. I'm having so much fun with this. I had no idea. Okay, so can we talk about driving a school bus for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what year age group were you driving for?
So most school districts, how they do it is if they employ a school bus driver, you do everything.
Oh, really?
I mean, how long does it take for you to pick kids up at the school and drop them off?
Yeah,
like an hour at most, 45 minutes.
So you make rounds.
You do rounds. So you start with the oldest kids. So in the morning, I would pick dude, my high school kids were great. I would pick them up. None of them are prepared to speak at that hour.
Obviously.
So it's just completely silent, like very low volume conversations happening behind me, and I just drive them to school. It's early, it's like 7:15. Driving to school, I had like 2 stops, picked them both up, dropped them off at the high school, and then I would watch Brad for like 15 minutes. And then my route was so awesome. And then I got to pick up like all these elementary school kids who were like,
rowdy.
No, they were
really
well a little bit, but it was the smart kids that like it was the AP like advanced placement kids that could only go to one elementary school for like a big area. So I had to do a lot of driving, and I only picked up like 15 kids, so it was great, dude. It was amazing.
Did they check you at the door? They were like, and you had to do the back to them or something?
No, these are actually blue light glasses. I don't wear.
Same. I was just saying, like, you know how they portray these smart kids. Be like,
Oh yeah.
Mr. Matt.
Yeah, they did call me Mr. Matt.
Hey.
But no, they were all pretty chill, like nerds, and like it was awesome, dude. They were all cool. And then in the afternoons, though, I did have to pick up I did have to drop off some junior high kids, and that was trouble in junior high. Absolute torture.
They're the in-betweens. They don't know where they want to be, who they are. They don't know anything.
12 to 14 is the absolute worst age group, and you put them all together, and they're all trying to act like each other. I don't know where YouTube, I guess, is where they get influenced the most now, but
they're different.
It's awful.
They're built different than what we were built.
Yeah,
Lord.
It's absolutely the worst.
So did that help you? Did having all these interactions with all these children or these kids help you with, your TTRPG or coping with life in general?
No.
You weren't like, man, I don't want kids, or man, I really want kids, or man, I'm so.
I definitely don't think I don't really want kids, but I'm not like a hard line about it. I think if I met somebody who I really loved and they were like, listen, I have to have kids, I'd probably be like, okay, we can have one.
Yeah.
Sometimes
kid. One and done is enough.
Just one.
Yeah.
But I don't need kids or anything.
You got enough of that. Yeah,
I've had years of that actually.
Yeah.
So I'm good.
So how long did you drive the bus?
I only drove the bus for 1 year.
Oh, okay.
I only drove the bus for 1 school year, and then I decided probably wasn't the smartest choice.
Really?
I decided to go full-time streaming.
All right. So when did that happen? What year did full-time streaming happen?
It was a year before I moved down here, so it would have been in 2022.
Oh wow, recent.
Summer of 22.
Pretty recent. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out where you popped up.
Yeah.
Sometimes, it's really weird to me. So we had Myra on the show.
Oh really? How did that go?
That was very interesting. You should definitely watch it. It was a very, very interesting show. There's so much about Myra I had no idea about.
He's a mystery. He doesn't really talk about himself.
The guy he's incredible.
Yeah.
He is probably one of the smartest people I've ever met.
He is
really wild. But not to go on a tangent, but
well, we can talk about him for the rest of the show.
Yeah. He's the only chocolate guy that I know. No, I'm just kidding. No. on the flip side of things is like Meyer just popped up on Tablestory. I thought he'd been there a lot longer than he has, you know. And the same thing with you, same thing with Leia or Leah. The same thing. It's just like you guys just popped up, and I thought you guys were here the whole time. I came in around like 2000 and something. I don't even remember anymore. 17 maybe. I think it was 2017, 18. I don't know.
Is that when Tablestory popped up?
No, that's when I popped up on Tablestory.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, it was Forbidden West or whatever was my first show here. And it's just interesting that you guys just popped up out of nowhere and feels like you've been here the whole time. And I had a conversation recently with PB, Wack, and Brad, and you came up in the conversation. I was like, when the heck, how, who, why, how, where, when? You know, I was like, I feel like he's been there all, and they were like, oh, Wild RP, you know? And I was just like,
yeah.
Really? I thought he was here before that. So it's very interesting. You drove a school bus, you went full-time streaming. What did you do in your first line of full-time streaming? Were you just playing variety games or WoW?
Yeah,
or what?
I had tricked Pumpkinberry and Brad Wodo into being my friends. So they were like, all right, they were just giving me a bunch of advice.
Okay.
So I ended up playing Control. It was my first like variety
cool game.
Which was awesome.
Yeah.
Loved it. Yeah, I mean, it was a summer when I wasn't driving the bus. So it was just supposed to be for like a summer, and then all of a sudden I was just like, I don't want to go back to that. I just want to do this.
I'm done. This is my life right here. Yeah, I get it.
So I gave it a go.
It's awesome, man. And now, and here we are. And I assume you're loving it. So you did mention something before, not to go on a deep route, but you mentioned you were bedridden and you were just going through a lot of stuff at some point in your life. And, you know, the doctors and the medicine helps. So I always ask this question. And I've told this to Brad, PB, Wack, and a lot of people that TTRPGs, just Tablestory in general, have saved my life, so to speak. Like it really helped me cope with a lot of things that I was feeling that I didn't know how to explain, but I was able to get out during TTRPGs and improv, you know. Being a trained actor and not getting acting gigs effed me up. On top of that, feeling washed and feeling too old for this industry. You know, I just turned 40 in November, and I'm still going through depression right now with that, because that's a whole different beast. But yeah, where did you start coping with that? I mean, you have the doctors and the medicine, but when did it start really clicking for you?
To cope with my anxiety and depression?
Yeah. I mean, maybe you haven't fully coped with it, but dealing with it is a whole different beast in itself.
I think I took something called citalopram for 12 years, and I decided one day I was like, I don't want to take this anymore. And that was a journey in and of itself, because at the time the education out there for like coming off of those kinds of drugs, not every doctor knew about those.
Yeah.
That was tough. But as far as coping with anxiety and depression, I didn't have TTRPGs at that point in my life. I coped with it just kind of knowing what's happening to your body. All of my anxiety stemmed mostly from medical anxiety, but that's what was like the trigger that would cause me to like freak out and not be able to function. But the root of that, I think, was just my life just wasn't in a great place. So I just started, you know, digging in and trying harder to put myself in a better situation. And then when the bad nights would come, I just have to remind myself, hey man, this is fleeting. This is just anxiety. It's gonna be gone soon. And distracting yourself is really helpful. Like menial tasks, I find, are like you're freaking out. Go wash the dishes.
Yeah.
If you can wash the dishes, you're not dying. You're okay.
That's true. That's true. If you can function, you're good.
Yeah, you're all right.
A little bit of stuff that nobody knew about me, and I can kind of relate to this. I almost died. I don't know. I woke up one day, was washing up, and I had a lump in my neck. Didn't know what it was, and it ended up being that quick, dude. I was washing. I felt something really hard in my neck, and I was like, "The hell is this?" Deep vein thrombosis. It's a blood clot, and if it rolls to your brain, you're done,
serious.
dude. Yeah, man, hit an artery and it was done. And went to the doctor. I went to urgent care. They looked at it and they were like, you're too young for this. You know, I hate when they do that shit. They just write you off because you're too young for it. And then I ended up at a cancer clinic and I was hooked up to tubes, bro. I was an experiment. Yay, thank God the government paid it off because they didn't know what the hell was going on with me, you know. But I had to come to terms with that, and I was in college at the time, and I was just getting out of football. Like I just quit football. All these things happened. It was really, really weird. And you know, so I can relate to you that when you feel like everything is imploding on you and collapsing on you, you have to come to terms with stuff. And I was asking myself, am I okay with just leaving? It's all right, and I was fine with it because I was like, you know what? I'm okay until I saw my parents, my dad cry. And then I had to really think about, okay, I need to find whatever inner power I have to get myself up and be motivated. So I can relate to that. And I'm glad you're doing well and you're still doing well today. I'm obviously going to be dealing with stuff.
Yeah.
You're here, which is good.
I am alive.
Yes. We're existing.
I feel like the state of the world right now is rough.
Yeah.
And there are mornings that I wake up where I'm like, man, like this is pretty bad.
Yeah. So let's talk about that.
Okay.
Interesting enough, Matt Mercer had a tweet not too long ago about where he's been. You know, and he was like, it was like a tweet where he was just a camera on him and he was just like, I'm here. I'm just dealing with a lot of depression right now. And you would think of someone like him that's like thriving and successful,
super successful,
would not have that, right?
Right.
So it really honed in on me. And I wanted to ask you, Orcish, just like, does the outside, and he was talking about how so much stuff is going on the outside just amplified his feelings.
Yeah.
Is that something that you deal with as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. The state of this, you know what makes me depressed more than anything else? Housing prices.
Yes. Big
Rent.
Same.
And I think everybody feels that. And that's why it's so heavy, is because it's not just like a me problem. It's an everybody problem. Yes. And we all kind of feel helpless together. Like we can't fix this because we don't have the ability to.
We don't have the means. Dude, that hits home. It hits home. It's like, you know, when I turned 40, and I call it the midlife crisis because I hopefully I get to live to 80. You know, after that, it's just kind of like you flipping a coin at that day.
Yeah.
But it's just,
I'm going
like,
for 65, dude.
Yeah. We're lucky if we hit, 65, 70. But, you know, when somebody asks me how I'm doing, I'm like, I'm not doing good. And I was like, don't feel bad for me. I think that's the first step of me accepting the fact that I'm not doing good is really nice. Because now I understand at least why I feel this way. And when people ask me, hey, Frank, how you doing? I'm like, I'm taking it hour by hour. Not even day by day anymore, dude. It's hour by hour. But having moments like this where I can distract myself away from those thoughts have really helped. So with that, Orcish has been developing the stream. We're going full time. We took the risk and we're benefiting the reward of happiness, right? And that may not be financially benefiting all the time, but at least we got the happiness part down.
Yes.
So how did that go? How did that transition go, man? You went full time, and how do you deal with all the stress of being a full-time streamer now, or content creator?
I complain to my friends, and they tell me to shut up.
Okay.
I send Murgle's DMs, and I'm like, hey, help, and she's like, yeah, you should have kept driving the bus.
Somehow that makes you keep going. I don't understand it, but okay.
No. I'm just joking. How do I keep going? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to keep. I mean, I had to take a part-time job after I moved down here for a little while. I was slanging some Zaz, just on the side, just to kind of help out a little bit.
Yeah.
For a few months.
Right.
I think that I'm to a point finally where financially I can just barely eke by, but the issue now is that I can't qualify for an apartment because you have to make like 3 times.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Your rent.
Yeah.
Which is like, I don't know, I'm gonna do that. So, how I'm coping is I'm looking for a second job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understandable. You know, it's I hate it. I hate that you have to even do that because I feel like your talents are here. I tell Brad that all the time. Like, I hate that you're going through stuff because I feel like this is your calling. I feel like you have so much more to give. And I don't blame us. I used to blame myself. I blame society. Dude, society sucks, bro. Like the internet
really
sometimes
awful right now.
Yeah, they just place these stupid stigmas and stereotypes on people and they expect us to like survive off of that while raising prices. I love how everyone's just like, we're in such a bad place right now. The world is bad, but we're gonna up groceries because F you. You know, you only need to eat bread, so we're gonna up everything else. Like, come on, man.
Just have cereal for dinner, man.
Yeah, just bread and butter. You know.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know.
It's rough out there right now.
It's rough. It's rough, but at least we're here smiling and keep going, man. You know, sometimes that's all it takes to just try to keep going another minute, another hour when time passes. But
yeah. I mean, absolutely, the escape of role play is very beneficial. I think all of my closest friends are feeling the same things I am, and also their own personal stuff, and being able to just take a break from that and just pretend to be somebody else for a few hours is powerful.
Yes, sir.
It really is.
Yes, sir. Some would say a little too powerful. So I want to talk about a subject that's kind of a little hard hitting. And you can always X out, but RP is definitely an escape. It's an escape, but it can be, but I call RP the escape that can be just as addicting as anything else, man. So the addiction can put you in a state of just not wanting to be yourself and just continuously be somebody else outside and forget about your problems. How do you make the balance to stay healthy?
I can tell you how I used to do it when I used to work and I was just a role play streamer before I met Brad PB, before I went variety. I was just a role play streamer. I would work for part-time for like 5-6 hours. And then I would come home and role play for 5 or 6 hours. And if I wasn't streaming, I wasn't role playing. That was my rule. Like, this is a job. It's not, and it's a job where when I'm doing it, like it just flows and I'm not thinking about my life or my problems, which is nice. But when the stream turns off, I'm out.
Right.
That is what I used to do. I don't follow that as much now. But to me, I do try my best to cover all the content that I create with roleplay. That way, it isn't just an escape. It isn't something that I'm doing for 14 hours a day. Some people do that. Yeah. And I understand if you need to. But it certainly isn't healthy to do anything for 14 hours a day. So
that is true. That is true. I really vibe with that because video games was my escape. I grew up an only child. I'm still an only child. It's so weird that I grew up an only child, but it's not like another child came into the aspect. But I didn't have anybody there, man. It's not like you can just sit there and talk to your parents. It's just like the parents they're not even human. They're parents. You start thinking that when you're younger. Yeah. And I would want to play video games all day. I was like, if I could just sit here and play video games all day, I would love it. Now that's my job. Bro, when I'm done with the stream, I don't even want to look at a video game half the time.
Really? I'm not that way, actually. I want a couple hours of video game time.
Well, a couple hours is one thing, but I'm talking about living on it. Like, I stream for 8 hours and then I want to do another 10 hours. No, I'm just like, I'll dabble and then turn it off and then I go to sleep, right? Or something like that. So it's very interesting. I think RP could influence. If the RP is damn good and I'm really loving my life in there, I feel like I would just fall down a rabbit hole. Hence why I had to not do it. Yeah.
You would. Yeah. I guarantee you would.
I know I would.
And you will, Frank. Because someday there's going to be a game that comes out and you're going to be like, I have to play this.
I would love it.
Dark Side or something is gonna come out with a server.
Oh yeah.
And you're gonna get sucked in, and you'll have your first experience. But you'll figure it out. You'll find your balance.
Yeah, I want to. I tried Wild RP.
You're smart.
It wasn't for me.
It's not for everybody.
It's hard,
the Western
dude.
genre dude. It's not my favorite. Yeah. It's just a beautiful game, and the role play is pretty good.
When it finds you and you find it, it's really great. But it's like at this times I was just roaming about. I was like, what am I doing?
I would still be doing Conan Exiles RP if there were viewers there. That's more my speed, the fantasy kind of stuff. They have like magic system in that game now and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, same people are making Dune. I know I hit you up about Dune. I mean, I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, I know this thing. I know Funcom is doing Dune, and I'm super excited. I watched those videos on stream yesterday that you posted. That video. Watched the whole thing.
It's exciting, isn't it? The
political
stuff
looking
looks
forward
really cool.
to it. Yeah, like they could make it really, really good.
Yes.
I'm not really sure exactly what to expect yet.
Yeah.
But it has potential. It could be really good.
Dude, take all the things that you like about Conan, and they know what we want. They know we want proximity chat, like real proximity chat. They know we want all of that. So I got a really good feeling about it because they're calling it a social experience MMO. Like, hello, said the words, and survival is there.
My only worry is that I don't know if I want to have a social experience with the average survival gamer. But I'm a big survival fan.
Yes.
But I feel like there's a lot of survival gamers out there who are not great.
Hey man, that's what private servers are for. And I'm your boy for private servers.
That's what I'm saying. If they do a private servers, I'm in.
All right, so let's make this pack right here live with everybody in front. If we get a private server, me and you, we gotta do this. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm down for that.
For sure.
So Wild RP, let's just jump into that big old bag right there. So when did you start doing Wild RP and what hooked you? You didn't know anybody at this point, right? Or did you?
No.
Okay.
Well,
but you watched Tablestory before?
Actually, no. I actually met Brad through Atlas RP.
Okay. I'm assuming through Darkside.
Yeah, Darkside. I wasn't streaming yet, but I just happened to hop in and I was playing before I went to work, which was EU hours, and Brad and his whole company just happened to come over to my island to buy some cannons from my little Dwarvish blacksmith character.
Nice.
And so I was, we just had a scene together, and that's how we met. And I was like, wow, these guys are good role players. And so I tried to connect with them a little bit more. It's how I met Dan too. And Dan and Brad, I think, are the only ones that I really connected with through that, out of the whole crew. But then I started streaming, and I did a little bit of Conan RP. I did some other things, and I don't remember what Wild RP actually reached out to me and was like, "Hey, we added poker to the game." And I was like, "Oh, that sounds really fun."
Nice.
And a few months later, I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna give it a shot. I think I saw Pony on it, and I'd seen Pony on Atlas before. I think maybe I saw Pony and Fist messing around with Wild RP, and I was like, all right, let's give this a go. Because Fist was the first roleplay streamer that I'd ever watched before. And I was like, all right, I'm already whitelisted. Let me roll in a character. And I met PB a few months later on a different character.
Through RP?
And yeah.
Okay. Oh.
So I think I met PB through roleplay, and then that's PB and our friendship is probably the one that blossomed first. And then, through her, Brad, Miranda, Leah, Meyer, meet everybody that's over there.
Just became a
tree. It kind of blew up.
That's dope.
Yeah, and I was on Tidal Blades.
Yes.
With a few other Wild RPers and Biz. I met Biz there.
One of the nicest guys I've ever known.
Biz is great, and I'd actually seen him on Atlas RP as well. So kind of in the same circles. You meet some people that you kind of almost know, but it's just acquaintances, and then you see them again through Tablestory, and
Right. So how did that make you feel? So meeting people of like mind is something that I feel like is a trending topic on our show recently. How important that is. It's just finding a place where you feel like you belong, and then you have people that just kind of vibe with you. How important has it been for you growing up as a male in this industry who's trying to find his place?
Fine. Well, I will tell you this. I have never met someone that made me feel so close with them so quickly as I did with Pumpkinberry. And she's not allowed to watch this episode.
Oh, she's gonna watch. I want to break her. Go for it. Keep going.
In my entire life, my 37 years on this earth, I've never connected with someone so quickly than I did with her. And then she's like, "Oh, you like that? Try this." And then Brad Mergles, like, it just kept happening. So I have friends that I've had for decades that I still have, but it's not the same as meeting someone who's into the exact same things you are.
Yeah.
Who's like a creative that has struggled through like the family being like, "Oh, coming out of your cave," and also like, "Is that a job? What are you doing?" Like. Yeah. That kind of thing. There's a connection there that I can't really have with my friend who's a lawyer.
Yeah. You get those
like, he's a great guy, and he likes games, so there is a connection there. But he went down a completely different path in his life than I did.
Right.
And like, I just have this artistic energy in me that I have to get out or I will go insane. And like, we go through the same struggles, and I don't know, man. It's kind of a really strange thing to meet someone like that and just instantly love them. Like, I love them.
Yes, I completely. It's very rare. We're lucky. Okay, we hit the lottery, is like I like to tell people. Like, sometimes you hit the lottery with money, but man, when you hit the lottery, when you have people that you could literally just talk to about anything and feel comfortable about, that's when you've hit it.
I can say anything in front of Brad, and he would either he would have something to say in response, and it would never be, "I'm never speaking to you again."
Yeah, or he'll use it against you later on just to make you smile. It's such a beautiful thing, and I love that you brought the fact that you have friends that you have for decades and they're still your friends. It's good to have the separation sometimes. It's good to have like people that you can literally vibe with 24/7, and it's good to have those people that knew you for so long and watched you grow, and you can have other types of conversations with. It's very good.
Yeah.
So when did the light bulb? I like to talk about this with I can't really relate to too many people when it comes to this, but I know when I was 26 years old, the light bulb kind of came on of like self-discovery and who I wanted to be and where I wanted to go. And I mean, it wasn't a complete answer, but growing up, man, between womb and 25, I had no idea. I just listened to what people thought I should do. Like, my parents were very straight and narrow. It was like, here's a path, you follow that path, And so when did it ever click for you, that imaginary light bulb, or are you still trying to figure things out?
Did it ever click for me what I want to do with my life?
Yes. And more so of like, you hit that thing where you're like, I'm okay with who I am. I'm okay with this, and I feel like I have a path that I built myself.
I mean, I always knew I wanted to do something creative. From like the age of like 15, 16, I wanted to do, and I think I figured out probably when I was a teenager that I want to do something with telling stories. Okay. And then when I was in my 20s, I was like, I could stream,
Oh, because you had that luxury. Damn.
I was just like, maybe someday I could stream because it would combine the love of like storytelling. Yeah. I'm not telling the story, but I get to play the video game, which is telling the story.
Yeah.
And I get to enjoy it with others. And then so I had that in my head already. And then when I discovered role play, like online role play, like in video games like Ark and Atlas and GTA and stuff like that, that's when I was like, oh man, this kind of this covers both bases really for me, right? This is because you get to kind of flex your acting ability a little bit, and you get to tell that story. You know, you get to do the art of storytelling, and it's a video game.
Yes.
So you also get to shoot guns and drive cars or whatever, you know, cast magical spells. So that's when I was like, oh, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And from that point moving forward, everything I did was to make that happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to clarify, what I meant by luxury, I didn't mean like, you know, because some people might take that the wrong way. When I was growing up, you know, when I was around that age, streaming wasn't a thing. So I mean, you know, there was YouTube, Avi. I mean, I'm only 3 years older, but I'm just saying in general, that never crossed my mind. You know, it's just like, when I discovered it, I was like
27 or something when I was like, yeah, this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I was 28 when I started. It was crazy to say. God, I'm old. But anyway,
You've been doing this for 12. You've been doing this for 12 years.
12 years content creating.
Oh wow!
Well, we'll be 12 years. You know.
So you started on YouTube then?
No. This website was called Justin TV, and it was
you were Justin TV
I
original.
dabbled a little bit for Justin TV. I didn't go ham on it. I dabbled. I was like the same for me. It's like all these ads reminds me of GeoCities, and if somebody's taking my identity, you know, I was like a cyber security nerd. And then so I backed off, and I was watching like Towley and all of them because I played WoW. That was my thing back in the day. And somebody got me into it. I was a Ragnarok Online boy. Was my first MMO, and then I got into WoW because I had a friend that was like wanted me to do it. And I remember, I'll never forget, we made Dwarf Brothers. We went to Stormwind, and Stormwind got attacked by the Horde, and I was like, people can do this. He was like, I was like, I fucking love it. You know, and we just went nuts with that. We went nuts with it, dude. So that's how I got into it, you know. And I would watch Co Carnage and Talon. They were all my friends at the time. Mike, man, all those guys were my friends because we played like arcades when it was in beta and all that stuff. And then I scooped in. I was full-time DJing at the time, and I just kind of scooped in. But anyway, so yeah, okay, damn, that's great, man. I love how you see how this works, though. I did the parental thing that people want you to go through school, go straight into college, and do all that stuff. I had no freaking idea what I really wanted to do. Actually, no, I had an idea what I wanted to do, but my mom, I'll just say that, didn't want me to do that. She was like, you're good at acting, and yeah, you had opportunities, but that doesn't really pay bills on the average. I need you to go in advertising. And I was like, sure, mom, I'll do it. I hated it. It was just journalism at the end. I hated it.
Yeah.
You know? But you know, then I still on the side snuck in acting and didn't care. And you know, I love it. That's my escape. Is being my strongest suit is improv. You know, so you having that luxury of knowing immediately, like, I love this. This is what I'm gonna do, dude. I am so jealous of that, and I applaud you. You know, I will say my parents were always supportive. They were like, they would come see my plays, and they were like, we'll sell the house if you want to go to college. But then, you know, my brain melted on me. Okay, now I have to ask a question. Do you have siblings?
I do. I have 3 older siblings.
And they were that supportive? That's wild.
Yeah, I think it's because my oldest sister like moved out immediately when she was 18.
Oh, okay.
She's 14 years older than me. So that was like ancient history at this point. Then my brother, he was like the black sheep, and he struggled a lot in the early parts of his life.
Right.
A lot of different things. But then he moved out. And then now my parents are like, you know, and then eventually my sister is 3 years older than me. She moved out too. And it was like, well, it was just me and the folks. And they were still working, you know, they were more financially stable when it was just me than they had ever been. And they were like, yeah, like they'd never sent any kids to college yet. So they were like, and they were like, if you want to do this, we'll help you.
Oh my God.
We'll figure it out. Like, but then my brain melted on me when I was 18, and nothing ever happened.
Not to go back to that, but how were your parents supportive during that time period as well?
So my mom has her own mental health issues, so she kind of understood what was happening to me.
That's so good. I mean,
nice.
Okay. I gotta be careful about what I say because people listen to podcasts. They're like, oh, you just said your situation just get no. I'm saying it's so good to have someone to relate to and support because I didn't have that because
I didn't know what was happening to me. That was the scariest part. Is I had no idea what was going on. My mom was like, "Take this," and she like gave me a tranquilizer. Like knocked me out, and then she like took me to the she had a blow dart, and she knocked me out, and then like
have a good day, son.
It's like she knew exactly what was going on, which is nice. And then she took me to the doctor and was like, my son needs some pills. Which I mean, I don't promote like taking SSRIs if you can avoid it, but sometimes you have to.
Yeah. It was different strokes, different folks. It worked for someone. I was on depression medicine, and it made me feel worse.
And it's all you gotta find what's right for you, and maybe it's not an SSRI. There's other types of those drugs out there, like so. Yep. Everybody's brain works different, which is why it's such a scary area of medicine, because the doctors don't really know what they're doing.
Yeah, they're just like, throw this at them. Did it do good? Great. We'll sign that off for the next person.
It's not like a broken leg. It's very complicated.
Yeah, with the human body, human brain, especially the brain, there's so much unknown. It just works in very complex ways. Yeah. But the good news is I feel like I can. I mean, granted. Again, when you're doing these podcast interviews, you gotta be careful what you say, because people might take everything for a dime. But listen to what I'm about to say. If you have someone that you can relate to, it's very nice to have someone you can talk to get an idea of what to look forward to. So, for instance, now that I know that you went through that stuff, if I was experiencing symptoms, I would come to you and say, "Hey, is this something that you could relate to? Are you comfortable to talk to other people about that?" Not giving advice, doctor advice. I know there's a clear thin line between that, but being able to have somebody comfortable that you can talk to and relate to, I feel for me helps.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I will give medical advice and get sued later. 100%. No, I'm kidding, obviously. I am not a doctor. Right. But yeah, I absolutely have talked to people before, and that's something that an adult did tell me when I first discovered that about myself. Is they were like, "You are going through something right now that you can use to help a lot of people."
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yep.
Yeah. The experience you're having right now can give people comfort, and you can give people guidance in a way, like,
Yes, exactly.
I experienced guidance too when I was trying to get off of citalopram. It wasn't a doctor who helped me. It was a website of just a massive group of people that had all had the same symptoms when they tried to quit taking the drug, and they were telling me something completely different than the doctor was, and I was like, "Oh, then this is what's happening to me." Okay, thank you.
I like to call it the real shit at the end of the day. It's not like a script where you have to follow something legally to let you know. So that's dope, man. I thank you for sharing that. It's a really hard topic to talk about, and you always got to tiptoe around this stuff because people always take things so wrong sometimes. But being able to realize what you had and being open to be able to tell people stuff is great. Like, I feel like I can come to you about things if I'm feeling it, and if we can relate on it, great. And if it helps me, I accept that. And you know what? And I want to say to the audience, if you can find someone that can do that, feel free to do it. Don't feel like you have to be super guarded about stuff like that, because I mean,
talk to people.
Yes, if you don't talk, it just implodes. Believe me, it's not worth.
Absolutely, talk to people.
And I want to remind everyone in the chat, if you have questions, I feel like everyone's gonna have a lot of questions for you, bro. Make sure that you guys do it in Discord. Drop all those things in Discord. I'm not ignoring anybody out there. It's just, this is a one-on-one. Bros sitting, chat thing. So I like to give my full attention to our guests. So make sure you guys answer those questions in Discord. Join the Discord. Thank you. Okay. So we got Wild RP. We made some connections. We found out that PB and Brad are really nice, and Meyer and Leah and all these people that you do Wild RP with. When did you get the invite to Table Story, and how has that been for you? How explain to me how Table Story fits in your life right now.
Table Story, I shove Table Story into my life and move everything else out of the way to my own to my own detriment. I mean, I love these people. And PB was just like, "Hey, do you want to do a show with me?" Or actually, you know what? I think there's a funny story to this. I believe that she forgot to tell me she was in the show, or I was in the show. She forgot to tell me I was in the show. And she was just talking to me about the show a lot. And then eventually, I think Brad or something DM'd me and was like, hey, something about the show. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then PB's like, did I forget to tell you you're in this show?
Oh my God, this is so true. This happens a lot.
Did I forget to tell you that you're in this? Oh God, I've been speaking to you for weeks like you knew.
It's like I just heard PB say that.
Yeah. She asked me to be on Tidal Blades, which was like really cool, very cool system and world. The art is gorgeous, and it was, I think it was during winter too, or I can't remember exactly, but I do remember feeling like this tropical paradise of a TTRPG is like a real nice escape to everything that's happening right now.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed Tidal Plays. It was really kooky, you know.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it was very different from what I was seeing on Tablestory and stuff. So just being able to show the flexibility of shows has been really nice. So, do you have a certain genre on Tablestory that you've been really enjoying lately, or something that you want to explore later on? It's a two-part question.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I loved the Star Wars campaign.
You
was
killed
great.
it in Star Wars, by the way.
Thank you.
I was impressed.
Don't feel that way.
I feel like you all did a absolute fan. That's one of my.
Yeah, Brad did great. He did awesome.
I like how this asshole just takes compliments and throws it to Brad. Stop it. Anyway, go ahead.
But Brad did great, and it was a really fun show. It's tough because it's a different system. It's not D&D. It's a dead system. Well, it's not dead, but the company that created it doesn't exist anymore.
Oh,
so
right.
It's not dead at all. The fans have definitely kept it alive, and it's quite popular amongst anyone who wants to role play Star Wars. But it's a little difficult to get that across, I think, to an audience, because they have to kind of learn how the dice rolls work.
Yeah, it's very different.
If you're into dice rolls, you might be a little confused at first. But I loved it so much that I did my own campaign of it. Off stream. That I recorded. Yeah, you were there.
I was there for one, unfortunately.
You were there for one, and then you were like,
no.
Brad.
Hold on. Let me get on screen for this. I felt so bad. I felt so bad I had to talk to Whack about it. I was just like, I hope Orcish doesn't hate me. I was going through some really bad stuff, man. And I think I typed that in there. I was like, I'm going through some stuff I really just don't.
You DM'd me, actually.
Yes.
You were like, hey, man, I just wanted you to know.
I care.
This isn't about you.
I really care, because I know how it is to like get excited to like do something for the first time, and then like everybody's like, yeah, we win, and like it just
and then
declines some people to show up.
The second session, there's only 3 people there.
Yeah,
like,
so it was just a really bad time, and I was traveling and stuff. It was just a really bad time for that. But anyway, nothing on you. I really enjoyed your RP, and I think you will make a really good GM.
Thank you.
You fit right in. You fit right in.
Wow, that's very kind of you to say. Yeah, what I'm most excited about is maybe doing some more Star Wars stuff in the future. And I don't know. I haven't really figured out how, but I do plan on streaming it some way.
Okay. Well, somehow. Hit me up. I'm doing better.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I'll definitely give you that, because I'm a huge Star Wars nerd.
Cool. Yeah.
Huge. So, anyway,
to answer your question, I'm actually more of a fantasy guy than I am a Star Wars guy. So, when Brad asked me to be on Cura, I was like, absolutely. An actual D&D campaign. Let's go.
Is this your first one?
This is, other than Oracle's Rest.
Right.
And I think I did a one shot when I was 21. So pretty much, yeah. But I'm a huge D&D fan now because of Baldur's Gate 3, and of Oracle's Rest, and I knew I would always love it. I just never had anyone to play with. But I'm definitely pro fantasy. Fantasy and then sci-fi is right underneath that. So it's like fantasy then Star Wars.
Yeah. I think I'm right there with you.
Big fans of both. Yeah.
I'm right there with you. So if there was another show made, what would you like? What would you want? Another fantasy or sci-fi? Like, what would you go
I want to.
balls to the wall, so to speak, for?
Yeah. I mean, I would always accept a fantasy. I would pretty much accept anything on Table Story. But I kind of I don't know if you know about this, but on Wednesdays I'm doing a nocturne
Yes, I do.
watch party.
I see it. I see the Discord wake up on that day. I like it. I think that's dope.
So good.
Is it good? So explain that. Let's try and just jump into it. This is so informal, but hell, I like to see it. We had this idea. It was funny. We were sitting in a business meeting. Don't get mad when I say this.
Oh, okay.
Business partners. We were in a business meeting, and PB, your biggest spokesperson, was just like, we're just doing this thing, and I think it's really great, and we need to support it. And I looked, and I was just like, I watch it grow every week, and I'm just like, dude. So what are you doing? Are you just sitting there and you guys are watching and commentating together?
We're just watching an amazing creation that she did. Like, really. I mean, she's not saying anything. Every once in a while, I'll pause and be like, what just happened? And try to break it down in my own mind as a first time viewer. Or I will, in halfway through or whatever, when they have their break, because Table Story shows used to have breaks back then.
Yes.
I'll talk about like what had happened so far. I don't really pause it that often, and my commentary is pretty minimal. But it's I don't know. She said that she really likes the balance of commentary to just watching. And that's what I was going for. And I think I mean, we're 2 episodes in. The episode 3 is this coming Wednesday.
Hey,
very excited.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Definitely plug it.
Yeah, it's such a good show. So because of that, because I'm watching this, I'm like, man, playing a modern day TTRPG like feels a little freeing in a way, because like you can just pull from what happened yesterday that you were talking about.
That's right.
But also a horror, maybe. I kind of want to branch out to that. I don't think it'll ever be my favorite because I get scared really easy.
Same.
But
I have an emote with me screaming. I mean,
I would like to experience that at some point, and then. But other than that, it's always going to be fantasy for me, man.
Yeah, I'm a big fantasy person as well. Just because I'm a big anime dude. I love isekais. Like, this is my favorite thing ever. When they get whisked away and there's like a system, I'm just like, please, if I die, let that happen. You know, I'd be in heaven, but that's my heaven.
So you'd plug in if Sword Art Online was the thing.
I will netgear the heck. I don't care what people say.
Both of us, dude. Yeah, we're gonna do it together.
Hook me up the IVP bag. I'm good. Yeah.
We're gonna be sitting on bedpans next to each other.
Yeah,
just
like, yo,
this is my life now.
Yeah, dude. I am for it. That would make me happy. Sometimes I people have all these conspiracy theories and stuff like that. And sometimes I say, well, like, what if we are in a simulation and we're playing the worst game ever in this life?
Yeah.
And aliens get so hooked up to something, or we are aliens and we're just hooked up to these machines, and they're like, here's the worst game ever. Bleep. And here we are, real life GTA. Man. But so here you are on Table Story. You've done tidal waves, and your next big thing was Star Wars. That's a scary thing to be on, man. Honestly.
Yeah.
That's an IP that people are attached to the hip about.
Yeah.
So going in with Star Wars and with your acting abilities, I would go ahead and say you're a trained actor. You trained to do acting. You've done it for a while. So
yeah.
When you comes to that in improv, did it come natural? Does it come natural to you? You do really well with accents, by the way. I was actually surprised to hear your real accent.
That's completely work. That's not any natural talent at all. It's all about accents. What I've discovered is all about just being willing to put yourself out there. And eventually you try to sound Scottish long enough and it just clicks in your head, and now you can do it. Especially if you're role playing on a big server and you run into other people that are doing Scottish accents. But for me, I listened to stuff over and over and over again before I even tried.
Research, like a true actor.
And yeah. And then once you get the vowels, everything else just kind of falls in place.
So what's your favorite accent to do? Scottish?
I like Scottish, and it's very easy for me. So I guess, yeah.
Do you have any history, ancestors?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know for sure, but my dad always said like I think my dad told me that he's like everything on that island.
Okay.
He's got like a little bit of everything on that island. Is his heritage.
Okay. So it'll come natural. That's probably why it just comes natural to you once you like learn it. Probably just pops up. I mean, you never know. Those latent abilities that's deep inside us.
I do got a little bit of red in my beard. So
there you go, man. Hey, you claim it. So yeah, TTRPGs. You did Star Wars, a very scary IP. Brad did an incredible job. The score, everything. He was so afraid to do it. It's interesting how these things come about. So anytime there's a show, I typically sweeten the barrel. You know, I throw them out under the bus, so to speak, under the school bus. And I think that's how Star Wars came to be. I remember he was talking about it, and I was like, if you hit 5, 6, 7, I don't know what the freaking price was. So you have to do Star Wars IP, and we hit it. And it was the kick in the butt. And that's what I love about Brad is that he will do it, you know? And then the next one was Mistlight. So I'm crossing my fingers that me and you get to play on Mistlight together. In the near future. That's a Fantasy 5e. So that'd be nice.
That'd be fun. I will do it, of course. You know what's funny about that story is actually the goal was it was whack.
It was whack. Okay, it was
whack.
All right, I did miss light. Never mind. Okay.
His goal was I can't remember what the number was, but it was 10K. Like hit this target. Well, I think it was 5K or something like that. Hit this target and Brad will do a short form Star Wars.
Oh, right. And then there was an
long extension for long form, and they hit the big goal.
Yep, that was right. Yes,
we did Star Wars for like 4 or 5 months.
Yes. That was it. It was a short term, and then because I was I was the evil guy that was like, up that junk higher, because you know he was really like, I don't know, man, I don't know if I want to do it, you know. And I was like, nah, we got to do it. He really wants to do it. We got to get him to do it. And it's just
his hesitancy was actually the system, and then we all kind of learned it together. I mean, there was more stuff that he was worried about, but I think that was the big roadblock. And once we all learned it together, I remember him saying, like, this is actually great.
He killed it. I said, Brad, if there's anything that I have to say that you've done the best, your Star Wars blew my mind. It was incredible, and you should be proud. And he was very proud of it. And it was an Audible book for me. Like those Star Wars, if you ever listen to Star Wars Audible books, they do complete. It's like watching a movie like this, you know. So it was really good. So I was very proud of you guys. The cast did such a well job. I was really afraid because I was like, damn it, you're gonna bring out the people, you know, like the people are gonna come. How's it gonna do with it? You guys did a fantastic job. And now you're on Cura, and then you have a very good cast and
amazing cast.
Dude, I was so proud of you because I was just like, first person I saw was Murgles, and I was just like, yes, you know, like, because on Gatewalkers we went ham, and the funny thing is like Tablestory, we kind of dabbled in like wardrobe and stuff, but we didn't really go ham with it, you know. And then like when I got invited to Forbidden West, I didn't know that people were gonna be so surprised because I went kind of ham with it. I was like a totally different person. And then we just kind of gradually, one thing I like about Tablestory is like when a show does really well, the next producer ups that show, and then the next producer up that show.
It's incredible,
right? So with Gatewalkers, me and Stella went kind of ham. We spent a lot of money. I have 2 characters on there, so it was a lot of money, you know.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was a lot of money. So
you guys all look so good.
Thanks, but you guys look great too. So that's what I was really happy with. Is like when I saw Murgles, I was just like, oh my god, yes. And then and then you came on, I was like, holy shit, he did! Like I was so happy because I didn't expect that out of you. You know, like that was crazy.
I wanted to do at least one show where I just went for it.
Yeah, dude.
And I was like, well, if I'm gonna be an orc, might as well be an orc.
Go for it,
I could have just put a filter on or whatever, but I went for it, and it takes takes like an hour and a half.
Dude, believe me, I played Code in 100 Club. That makeup, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a little, and I don't even do that good with it. So like, I can't imagine what it must be like for somebody who actually knows what they're doing.
Hey,
with
man.
makeup.
Now you know you it's a blessing and a curse because now you got to up yourself next show, bro.
Yeah, I'm playing a human warrior, a human fighter.
I said that if my character dies again, that I'm gonna dial it down.
Yeah.
I'll make a really nice outfit, but no makeup. Man. But hey, it's the energy and amount of stuff that we put into Table Story. The crowd really feels it and really appreciates it. It's really nice seeing brand new people come in for the first time and be like, "Oh my God, what is this?" Me being in my stream, I'd be like, "What do you mean? What is this?" But
yeah,
they actually are just blown away that we actually take care. And I think that's the beauty of Table Story and being comfortable doing that. It takes a lot of gall to sit there and dress up for something and walk around like that anywhere, How do you feel? Would you be able to take that to a convention or anywhere? Would you be comfortable doing that, knowing where you are right now? Awesome.
I mean, sure, but I would have to put even more effort into it.
Yeah,
so.
Obviously.
But it would just be like a one-day thing. Yeah, I will tell you this though. I had a day where I put my nose on first. Like once I put my costume on, and I put my nose on, and then I do the makeup over that. So I had my nose on, and I remembered I was like, oh no, I have to go check my mail. And I live in an apartment complex, and checking the mail is like it's like a couple blocks away.
Yeah. And it's like there with everyone, like everyone has their own mail.
So I had an orc nose on, and I had to take a quick drive over to the mailbox and I was like, when I was passing people, I was like scratching my. I just had an orc nose on. It was because it's green. It's painted green too. Like it's a green colored nose, and everything else was normal other than I was kind of like wearing a weird shirt.
Yeah. People were just like.
I didn't look at anyone in the eye, so I have no idea what anybody's reaction was. I was just hoping they didn't look at me.
It'd be hilarious if it was like a comedy and you look at me, everybody else had like strange noses and stuff on. Yeah, I'm where I belong. Nah, that's cool. That's cool. The Table Story definitely boosted my confidence to be able to like dress up, take pictures, and send them out, or like do these things and feel confident about it. Because I think a lot of people respect people like us that actually will go out and do that because they feel like they would never do it, or they secretly want to do it. And go about it.
Everybody wants to do it.
Yeah.
It's something's holding them back.
Yeah, that's why when they see cosplayers, they freak out and they like they're at the comfort of their home behind the scenes. They'll and scream about how much they liked it. Wow, man. All right, so self-discovery is something that we always go through. Are you finding out things that you didn't expect to like in your life, and are you going to expound on those later on?
What with Table Story?
No, just in general, just life in general. It can include Table Story, but like, are you still you're still in a self-discovery mode, right? Like you're still finding things out.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we always are. We always will. Mm-hmm. So I figure things out about myself all the time and try to change my life to incorporate new things, and my thoughts about the future change when you realize like, oh, maybe I don't actually want that. Maybe I want this instead. So yeah, absolutely, man. That happens to me all the time.
Yeah, it's like being comfortable in your own skin and like finally really being okay with like, for me it's like society. I bring that up and it's just like for instance, being emotional about things, society paints this picture that us men are supposed to be hunting men, and not feel emotion and stuff like that. And you kind of live that life. Your parents sound like they were very, very supportive, but my grandfather was like, a man does this and a man does. So I'm already like programmed to think this is what I need to do. But I was like, is it okay to like cry? So I built all that stuff in. And when I did Rhyme of the Frost Maiden, people hated Teriel in the beginning. And then at the end, I had a really big breakthrough at the end for him. And it was very emotional. I was just like, in my head, I'm like, are you really doing this? And then all the problems that I had in my life flooded. I mean, as a trained actor, when you do like hardcore emotional scenes, you try to bring up something to produce those organic tears. I was like sobbing, bro. Like everything hit me at once, and it was like the cry I needed.
That's amazing.
You know? And I'm okay with that now. Like I'm okay
That's
with
awesome.
it. So that was my self-discovery. So I was wondering if you found something through RP or Table Story that you're now comfortable with that you weren't comfortable with before.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
No. No, I don't have a lovely story like that, unfortunately. I'm a pretty
man. I'm just kidding.
No, I'm
an
a
orc
big
man.
No, I mean, I guess long ago I discovered that, like, you know, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy who's, you know, chugging muscle milk and you know, never speaks at all.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, straight face. Like I don't want to. I've never wanted to be that guy. I've never been that guy.
Right.
And while I understand there are pressures out there for men to be that way, anybody who wants a man to be that way, I don't want to talk to them.
Exactly.
So
not your interaction.
Doesn't matter to me.
Love that.
There is, you know, it does provide. It does give like some roadblocks and some problems for us as men. Because there is expectations and because, I mean, obviously I'm not going to cry in public. That's insane. You know, like we can't do that as guys, but, you know, I do, feel like, I have friends that I can cry in front of. And, that's okay. You know, like you can do that if you need to.
Right.
And but I don't know that I've discovered anything through role play. At least nothing that jumps out at me.
And it doesn't have to be like an emotional thing like that. It's just like, for instance, I played a character that was very, it was in Gatewalkers. Dronus was flamboyant. He didn't have his preference was still the preference that I have, you know, when it comes, you know, to sexual desires, but he was flamboyant. He was like, you know, he had like this hair and his outfit and his stuff that I will not ever use, you know, or wear in public. But I was like, okay with portraying a character like that. And he wasn't opposed to anything. And I was like, I was going to challenge myself to play a character like that. That doesn't have a specific preference. He's just like, you know, if I dig you, I dig you, you know, like he was that type of guy. And that was a big eye-opening thing for me because I would have never in my life try to play a character like that, you know, but now here I am. And I felt like that Table Story like opened the doors for me to be able to feel comfortable enough to explore different avenues that I'm not comfortable with. Seeing that, are you open to exploring doors that you're probably not comfortable with in character development, just to challenge yourself? Or you were the type of guy that wants to like kind of stay in the realm of what you want? Or what you're comfortable with, I should say.
Absolutely. I'm always gonna be trying different things. And I don't go into, at least not right now, I've never gone into a Table Story show thinking like this would be an excellent exercise for me to, you know, like work on myself. I'm always thinking like, what can I bring to the show that's going to be entertaining and different, something new. So eventually we're gonna get there. Where, you know, I'm gonna but like there's been role play moments where I've definitely thought about subjects that I just never had the opportunity to think about as myself. So yeah, there is that for sure.
And I think it's important to separate yourself from the characters a good bit. A lot of people sit there and say, put yourself in the character. I'm like, I think sometimes it's good to just really dive into like a character and not put yourself in it and think somewhat not so much outside the box, but think in the box of that character. For instance, there's a lot of times in Gatewalkers where I'm playing Malavik, who's like, you know, pretty much like a God of War meets, you know, demon kind thing, you know, and you know, I granted I took a lot of inspiration from God of War and a lot of inspiration from a lot of other characters. Honestly, God of War is probably this big, down to the voice, maybe the grumbleness of the voice. You know, I might do that, but exploring what that character would think, and I have to block off my strategic thinking on situations because we're going to the fight. I'm just like, we need to go here, and do this, and this, that, and the other. That was Teriel, you know, and I was just like, okay, Frank, you can't do that. You're a barbarian. You know, I'm raging. I need to go in and just slash it. And then sometimes, and I have to like really separate myself. And it was training that I had to put myself through mentally to say, okay, it's time to separate Frank from Malavik.
Yeah.
You know? I want to challenge you, Orcish. When you play a character, next character you play or whatever, and this is something that I tell the directors that they need to challenge their cast with, is put I in it a lot. Me, I. Use those profound words instead of third person. That way, when you make a decision, be like, you know, I decided to cast a spell because I want to burn it all down to the ground. You know, like me. You know, and then once you start doing that, you really start seeing your acting abilities flow. And then you learn a lot about yourself outside of that, because you're like, would I really burn a village down with children? Would I think about the children in that village, the innocents, or am I about vengeance? You know, so those are the self-discoveries that I'm kind of hunting to see if you would ever go that route.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna try that. I'm not real. I don't know if I talk like that, so I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, there you go, man. It's a good little challenge.
Always stay in character. I always have the voice on.
Yeah. For sure, you
which annoys people to no end, because they're like, because I'm like, I didn't say that. I'm like, I didn't actually say that in character. I just want you to know. Yeah,
that's wild to me. Yeah. Okay, so I guess it's, you know, sometimes it takes a cast of learning, because our cast and crew, we made it a thing in Forget Walls to say I, me. We do our check-ins in the back end, of course, but sometimes some subjects hit really hard, and we just like, all right, you know, a little rubber bleed there, it's all right. And we'd be like, no, I'm fine. But, you know, challenging ourselves to think in character, stay in character completely, even when we were looking something up. You know, it's kind of funny. Dan does a really good job of it, and you know, we're doing Pathfinder. We don't know half the system sometimes because it's brand new to us. And Dan will just be like, I believe that I rolled a 2, you know, and he's still in character the whole time. Yeah. But it really helps the narrative, even though we're talking outside of character. You know, it just kind of helps you stay in. So I just stay
in it all the way until I take the nose off.
Good. That's a good visual prop to be your exit. That's really cool.
You know,
that's
mom
really cool.
calls and I'm like, how's it going, mom?
Today I burned out a whole village. What the hell, son? Like, you know,
I'm casting fireball.
You should do that one day. It'd be hilarious. Oh man. So with all these things going on, you know, we have a very big vision for Tablestory. We're going into Tablestory 2.0 soon. We're gonna have this presentation of where we want to be. It's gonna be really good. Oh, I'm so excited. It gets me so emotional because there's so much hard work going into it. What are some things that you would like to see personally that you want to give to Tablestory more, or are you just happy with just being like the actor?
I would give Tablestory my kidneys, both of them, if they asked for it. A double kidney transplant. I mean, it's listen, it's filled with people that I love. They're doing something that I love, and they like the show. You guys deserve so much more than you have, and like I'm so excited for the future. Yes, and I'll do anything you guys ask. Anything.
Well, you heard it first there. Tablestory round table. Orcish is in both legs and kidneys. Apparently, we're ready to go. We're ready to go. All right. So, man, have you told your like friends and family about what you do, like TTRPG RPing?
I have a hard like line between my family and Twitch. They don't even know my handle.
Wow. Oh, because you don't want them to sort you, like find you? Or
I don't want them to find me. No, I have a couple of real life friends who are like also gamers. Okay, I couldn't really hide it from. But like my family has no clue what my handle is, because I want to be able to talk about my childhood without worrying about them being like, that's not what I said. Or something like that, you know? Okay. Or I can talk about the fact that me and my brother had a rough relationship when I was a kid, and he is never gonna get offended by that, you know, because he'll never figure that out. And also, they can never dox me by mistake. My, 78-year-old aunt being like,
true.
"Oh, how are you doing at 11742
Yeah.
North
Are you still
Street?"
there? Yeah, I get it. That's very interesting because a lot of people ask that question too. They're like, yeah, they're supportive, but they don't really understand it. Blah blah. Blah. You're just like, nope. Yeah, they put that wall up.
I don't need them to support me at all. I'm good.
Yeah. So,
I mean, they know that I'm doing something in this realm. And I think that it's very possible that like some of my nieces or nephews could probably like figure it out if they really tried, and maybe they have. But nope, just a hard line. Like,
wow.
Sorry guys, I'm not interested in sharing that.
That's very interesting to me because it's hard. I mean, maybe because I'm the only child. It's hard for me to separate. Like, if I walk into a room and they're like, "You're a lot happier lately. What's going on?" I'm like, "Well, I just spit it all out." And you're just like, "I had a good beer today."
No, I mean, I'll tell my mom like, "Oh yeah, just like things are going well."
Yeah.
But like my mom doesn't care about it.
And they're
like,
good with that as long as their son's doing well.
She doesn't care.
Oh.
My mom doesn't care.
Oh,
it's like my siblings and my aunts and uncles and stuff. They're the ones that want it. My mom is just like, she's in her own world and she doesn't know what Twitch is.
Yeah. She's like,
she's in her 60s, dude.
Son,
She
you're still
doesn't-
twitching.
She would. Yeah, I could type it into her search bar and she'd somehow get a virus on her computer and it would explode.
Oh my goodness.
There's
gracious.
no way that she would ever see my content. I mean, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with it.
So you mentioned that you have older. All your siblings are older,
Yeah,
correct?
I'm
And
the
you're
youngest.
the baby.
I am. Mm-hmm.
So, do you have a ongoing decent relationship with them, or is it something that is just kind of like, well, we're family. It's
It's not a bad relationship.
Yeah,
I don't
no.
really. I don't really talk to them very much.
That's
It's
what I
by
meant,
My,
like,
by my choice. Yeah. Like I don't really reach out very often. There's family drama, of course, but I'm not involved in any of it. I'm just
That's
like,
good.
yeah, I don't. Not this the family that I chose are my friends, and that's who I go to most of the time. I still talk to my mom, somewhat. I talk to my brother every once in a while, but like every once in a while an aunt or an uncle will text me and I'll respond, but I'm not. And I moved too, so my whole family is from Washington State, and I'm gone.
Right.
So.
That must have been a hard move, man. Or was it not? I mean, leaving everything that you knew behind to venture somewhere else. How did that all happen? Like, or not happen, but how did that go for you? Like, is it something that you're happy with decision-wise, or are you just kind of like still figuring it out?
Yeah, I mean, it was hard. The first few months down here was an absolute nightmare. I knew no one, and it was just like. I felt very isolated, and it was just a terrible time for all my internet friends too. So just everybody's super depressed, and it sucked. But you bounce back. I have one friend down here now, so that's nice.
Yeah.
And I have kind of gotten used to it.
Yeah.
And the move itself was extremely expensive, which does cause a lot of stress, but driving down here was great, dude. I love long drives.
Oh, you did like the cross country?
I
This is so cool, dude.
Man, it was awesome. I stopped at Mount Rushmore on the 4th of July randomly. I was
wow,
just like, all right.
perfect.
And like I had a blast driving down here, but the first few months that I was living here were really rough. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I couldn't imagine, and I was, we kind of talked earlier, and like I'm from New York and I moved, and it was a culture shock, and I can only imagine. I was pretty much a little young kid when we did it because my parents didn't want me to grow up in New York, and it was in Brooklyn at the time. So back then it was a bunch of burned down buildings and a lot of crime. Now it's just like rich people live there. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But doing that. I often think I was gonna move to Vegas at one point because I had so many friends like, you need to come to Vegas. I was like, yeah, Vegas. Went there. Hell no, dude. It's just so hot there, bro. It doesn't make sense. It's like a different planet. It's hot here where I am, but my God, in Vegas, bro, it's like I walked out of the airport so funny. And it was not hot in the airport. You know, the airport has air conditioning, but you know it's hot.
Yeah.
Dude, I walked outside. I was like, why do they have heaters on out here?
Yeah.
And my wife was like, we're outside. It's nighttime. It's 109 degrees at night. Okay. And people are calling that cool. I was like, it's not for me. I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So I couldn't imagine going like moving like across anywhere.
It was intense. It's definitely, but what I actually noticed is a lot of similarities. I feel like something people don't realize is that a suburb is a suburb and a city is a city in this country. Right. They're all the same. They're just the only thing that's really different is the weather, the climate.
That's right. In time. At the end of the day.
Yeah. And like, how long ago did you visit that city? Because it's going to be different. Yeah. But yeah, man, like I'm in a suburb and I'm from a suburb. There's still strip malls everywhere. There's still, it looks the same, like the winding roads where all the houses are, like different trees, and it's warmer and more sunshine.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's so funny when I speak to people that move from one side to another or whatever, and I'm like, you're not moving into a different country, right? It's like,
yeah. That's where it would be really weird. Is like if you went to Europe, that's where you're gonna be like, whoa, dude, man.
Even Canada, bro. I didn't know what a magpie was when I saw them. I was like, what the hell are those? Like, those are big ass birds. They were like, you know what, a magpie? I was like, no, I don't have those shits. Black squirrels? Like, what the hell are those? Like I was freaking out.
I will eventually go to Canada again. Yeah. I went there once when I was 5th grade field trip.
Oh, what? You guys
took the Victoria Clipper up to Seattle.
Right there.
Take a Clipper up to Victoria, BC.
Yeah.
And that's the only time I've ever left the country.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's very interesting.
In 5th grade, I was 10 years old.
Jeez, Louise, you should definitely take a trip, man. I've been to Korea, Japan, and and other places outside. But I haven't never been to EU. I really want to go to EU one day.
Me
never
too,
been there.
man.
Yeah, so we should all just do a Tablestory trip up there.
I would love that.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Great.
Just be with a bunch of us.
We just all go there and just we all crash in Brad's garage or something.
Yeah, dude. Seriously, I'm super down for it. Like I really want. I'm not even joking. This is not just something I really want to do. Leah.
Crash at Leah's place.
Yeah, Leah. Yeah, and then to meet Leah, Maya, and Brad in person, we just hang out and just do stupid shit. We probably end up just doing what we always do.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think so. I think
we do a live D&D session?
Probably. Probably. I don't think we'll show it. And I think we do.
We probably shouldn't.
No. No. But nah, I recently took a trip with some Tablestory friends recently, and it was, a lot of people don't know this. I won't go into details here.
Okay,
With you, I'll go into details later, but and it was mind blowing, bro. It was so
your family, dude.
I was just like, we need to do this again. We have to make this tradition every year.
Yeah.
Period. And that's the plan, dude. And I don't think we take enough time to find those people that we really love, spend actual physical time with them. It's completely different, dude. Like,
it's so different.
The feeling that you're having now, dude, meeting them in person, oh my God. It's just like the world has stopped. All those problems are in a muted, you're like in a jar. You hear the outside, but everything inside that jar, you're just in happiness, dude. So I am, can't wait, man. I can't wait to do that.
Well, we'll get there, I hope.
We will. We definitely will. 100%. There's really no hope. It's really, we're all adults. And this is something that I told them, that even though I am 40 now, so it's weird to say, I still feel like I'm 16 90% of the time. And like my dad is the adult, right? Like my mom is the adult. Yeah. But we are adults. We can literally get together and hang out.
Yeah. Like, we can do it. We have the power.
We have the power. Like, why don't we do that? And I think that's what's holding us back, is like we're in that mind frame where it was weird to do stuff back then, and it was like, or it's weird to like say that my best friends are online, or we fall victim to the in real life. I'm like,
Yeah,
bro,
the real life thing, the
I
IRL
hate
friends,
it.
and it's
And,
like, well, I mean, that doesn't really make sense.
this is real life. What do you mean? You know, like
Yeah, I try to say high school friends or something like that.
Yeah, or local friends. I always try to say local versus
work friends.
Yeah. So stop the IRL stuff, people. We're all real. It's not like we're in fantasy, man. Well, maybe you have some, but you know, that's the prerogative.
Yeah, that started in World of Warcraft for me, man.
Yeah.
It's like, we've got our guild friends, like our online friends, and then we've got our in real life.
Yeah,
our
IRL friends. Yeah. But you know, it's always nice when you get to meet those people in person that you really vibe with, and I really hope that we all can do like a really big one, because my whole thought in the future is that if everything goes well, we have a Tablestory studio, and we do one giant production per year, where it takes like 6 months to put together and do, and we do it on a cinematic. And we send it off to like the summer film festival, you know, and we get picked up, dude.
Yeah.
That's my dream, and it will happen. I have no doubt. I think we have way too much talent.
We do have a lot of talent. Yep. We do. That's true. I can't wait. I'm excited.
Yeah, man. So it's you brought up a really interesting point about you know, you're like, hey, I have brothers and sisters, but we do the brother and sister thing. But it's funny to me because it's like your real brothers and sisters are here on Tablestory, and you get all that like. I'm trying to stop myself saying real life. You get all that love that you would get from your brothers and sisters from Tablestory, and it's okay. Like it's not like you're replacing your flesh and blood, but you're getting what you need from them. If there's anything you had to say to the people that are super important to you, Brad, PB, Leah, Meyer, whoever else, and that you feel like you can't really tell them to their face, because not so much as their reaction, because you know some people don't take compliments.
They would all die.
Right. What would you say right now to each one of them?
Oh no! Is that what you're doing right now?
Hey, dude, I told you that I do something special for everybody on this show.
Well, here's the thing though, man, because like some of these people, if I say what's in my heart, if I actually say what I want to, they would go and find some tissue boxes. They would fill them up with cement mix. They would put their feet in it, and then they would walk into the Thames. Like, hey man, like, you know,
I'm here for it. Please give.
I don't want that to happen.
They're not gonna do it. Give me an edited version. I just want to hear it.
So no, what I'm saying is that you kind of gotta, like, if I was saying what I actually felt
I got you.
like, let's say Leah, let's use Leah as a punching bag. If I was saying what I actually felt about Leah, I would say, like, whenever I'm around her, I feel good about myself, about life. Like, my problems kind of fade away a little bit. I've never not enjoyed being in her presence, both in character and out of character. She's just a lovely human being, and just so real and easy to be around.
Damn right.
But what I would actually say is, that little gremlin, she's fun to RP with.
Really?
Because she can handle that. She can handle that comment.
Okay, well, I like this. Now you just started something. So now I gotta hear it. All right, okay. All right, I'll make it easy for you. Let me call out the people first. Let's go with Murgles. Okay,
Murgles. Yeah. Okay, that's a tough one. Murgles, I called crying. She's like the only person I've ever called crying in my entire life, and she picked up and she helped me, saved my life.
Damn.
So I would say to her, if I was allowed to, I'm not saying this, but if I was allowed to, I would say. I
like how we're prefacing this.
I would say Murgles is just the most caring and loving and just like most caring, loving, beautiful soul that I've ever had the privilege of calling a good friend. And she's there for you. And she's very good at giving a little perspective on your problems, which is so funny because and this is a prime example because I've given her perspective on her problems as well. It's a lovely friendship we have.
Yeah.
But what I would actually say to her is she's pretty cute in that makeup that she wears in Cura.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she is, buddy. Let me tell you. Made my tiefling ass sweat, you know.
Because I think she'd be okay with that compliment.
Hell yeah, dude. That's her. Yeah, she won't X cry you. Oh man. Okay, we'll make an easy one. I'll go back and forth. What about Bradley?
He's a piece of shit.
Oh yeah, true. I agree. What
I don't even know. I don't even know why anyone puts up with him, honestly.
Yeah. We just use him for his video editing.
She doesn't even give without, you gotta work for it.
No, we're joking here.
Which is, yeah, he just like does it in 10 seconds. Oh, you took too long. Here you go.
Get it down stream.
Brad is he is actually incredibly kind and insightful and generous, and he's a lovely human being. And he's so the opposite of what he tries to portray often, which is fun, I think.
Yeah.
He could probably actually handle this, I think.
Yeah.
He'd be all right with it. But he's just a lad, He's just a friend, like a good friend. And he's always a joy to be around when even now when he's at his darkest place.
Yes.
he's a good one, even if we're just playing video games together, or if we're role playing together, or as a GM or being GM'd. We give, like, that's one thing about Brad, I will say. Like, I can say literally anything in front of him, and he can say literally anything in front of me, and it's cool.
I think Brad would just literally say anything in front of anybody, but No. I know where you're going with that. I know, yeah. We won't go down there, but I know exactly what you mean. No, I agree. And Brad in his worst times will give you the shirt off his back. He's that guy.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, he is that guy.
But I just gave you a little break from the main camera, but when we go to PB, we're zooming in, buddy. We're zooming in. We are in break PB.
I was hoping you're gonna skip her.
Nope. Nope, because here's the deal, man. Here, I'll go back here, man. It's horrible editing here. Don't worry about back and forth with the cameras. PB is a person that needs to hear.
You think so?
I think so. She doesn't like hearing, and I'm the same way. When somebody says a compliment, I'm like, I take myself off camera because I just don't. I've always been raised super humble and stuff, and I just don't believe people at the time. I just like, no, I'm not that. I'm just a guy that is being normal, and and then when they dig in, I'm just like, anxiety's rising in me, dude. I'm like, should I just accept this so they stop? I will say this. I'll start you off. Maybe it'll make you more comfortable. I had a discussion with PB because we really didn't know each other. And there was a time I was like, man, I wonder if PB really likes me, because everyone has different ways of expressing different things. And I told PB in a talk that we had, I said, you were the first person on Tablestory, maybe the most, that I try to impress the most, because I really care about how she feels about things. Because she just exudes a certain. That was an earthquake just now. Holy crap!
Oh no!
Jesus. She exudes a aura that just makes me want to be better around her all the time. It's just how I am. So, what would you say to PB right now if she was listening?
Oh God. I would tell her that ever since we met, we have told each other pretty much right off the bat that we are going to be friends, for the rest of our lives. And we defined what friendship is to each other. We kind of had to explore that a little bit because friendship's a weird thing, man. Because you can say like, oh, these are my friends, but are they really?
Yeah.
You know, are they your friends, or are they just like some people that you
talk to here and there?
You have lunch with at work.
Yeah.
You know, is that really your friend? You know, is the guy that you play Call of Duty with really your friend? You call him your friend.
Right.
But what is a friend? And so we had this long conversation. We defined what friendship is to us and what we are to each other. And I think it's sometimes hard for us to believe people when they say these lovely, beautiful things about us. So what I would say to PB, I think, would be, you gotta believe me, dude. You gotta believe me. Please believe me. She's the most important person in my life.
I love that. Thank you for saying that. That, you know, people are gonna be like, you're being extra frank, but no, that takes a fucking lot to say about somebody, dude, and really mean it. I applaud your openness today. I applaud your life struggles in the way you figure things out. I have learned something and I have grown from this conversation. I found something that I can latch to. Seriously, I'm not, you know, and I don't just say things to try to be a nice guy. I'm being for real. I'm a very frank guy, as someone say. But no, I learned a lot about you, dude. And you know, this is why I've done this show. It's because I feel like we see too much surface stuff. People start to make up what they want to believe how a person is, but when they really get to see under the table, it really just puts a big perspective on life in general. And sometimes if we got one person out there right now, Orcish, that says, you know what, life is bad right now, like there's things happening, but my life is not that bad because I can relate to one of these guys, I feel like we did our job.
I thought you were gonna say, well, it's not as bad as Orcish.
No.
For sure.
No.
Any way I can help, guys.
You think your life's bad? Think about me, all right? My life's shit. No. Because not a lot of people can say they have friends like that. And now people will actually sit there and think about, like, what is the real definition of friends? What does that mean to me? Because I mean, obviously it's different for a lot of people, but we do use that word very loosely. And we have watered down that
and
word.
Love too.
And love.
The word love.
Seriously, there's so many degrees of loves. So many degrees of loves. Man, that's a whole episode in itself. I just recently got really comfortable with telling my friends that I love them, and like especially guy friends, right? It's like, you know, back when I was growing up, you don't do that. You just don't
absolutely
do that.
not.
You don't hug them, and you definitely don't say you love them. But now I'm just like, you know what, bro, I love you, man. And if you need anything, let me know. You know, and that's something that goes without saying. It's just like, you know, we always had that bro code we talked about. Well, that's the real bro code to me. It's like being able to discuss anything in the world and know that you're not going to sit there. I mean, Brad may judge you, but you know, it's out of pure love, and you can actually say that. And I think I applaud you for being able to speak openly about that. And I hope they watch this show. I know they will. And hear that.
I kind of hope they don't.
Well, I'm just going to tell people to make sure she watches it. Because sometimes we need to hear that. And I know exactly what people will do. We all do. But when she's in the comfort of our own home and realize that she has made a big difference in someone's life, I think sometimes we need to hear that during the darkest times that we have, you know? So thank you so much, Orcish, Matt. I feel like I made a really good friend. I feel like I know, like, dude, it's crazy. Like when I met Whack for the first time in person, I was like, bro, we're brothers. We missed the womb by seconds. Like we're brothers. Like I can go to him he's like my big bro. I never had one. So now I'm filling those gaps in my life that I wish I had, you know? Yeah. And I look at you like, man, dude, we have so much in common. It's ridiculous. I could talk to you for hours. I know. The show went by too fast. It's over. It's a minute. Forge.
It's
God.
over.
Yeah, dude. So I would love to get to know you more and like spend more time and like do more things. And this is what Table Story is about, everybody. We welcome everyone to our table. So please, by all means, make sure that you understand that it's okay to have feelings, okay to talk about stuff. It's okay to feel like, you know, that you love your best friend, or you know, it doesn't matter who they are. It's kind of important to say those things because you only have one life, you know, that we know of. and it's good to explore that stuff. Well, we're at the end of our session where we do a couple of traditions here. Is I laugh because every time I say tradition, Leo's just like, you know, does a little eyebrow thing. It was just like, yeah, we have tons.
Okay.
Where you give either, there's two ways you can go about this, or you can do both. Number one,
Okay.
you tell your younger self, if you could go back and tell your younger self something
Yeah.
that'll get them through that hard freaking time that you had, what would it be? Or you can tell the audience that are struggling out there that won't talk about it, something that will get them through those moments. Or you can do both. Go for it.
Ooh, okay. I guess the advice I would give is that to younger me, or to anyone listening, really, this is dual purpose here. You're gonna have moments where you feel like this is what it's gonna be like forever, and it's awful, and that's just not true, man. It's just not true. Everything is fleeting, the good and the bad. So enjoy the good and just know that the bad will go away. That's it.
Damn right, brother. I love it. I love it. Orcish, it was an absolute pleasure. Before we close it out, I'm going to do the thing that every host says, is tell us where to find you and all that good stuff. Content and everything.
You can find me on twitch.tv/Orcish. My handle on TikTok and Twitter is Orcish Gaming. That's pretty much it. That's it. That's all I got. I'm also on Table Stories show Cura on Tuesdays, and I do a nocturne watch party in the Table Story Discord Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern. Please come and watch. Episode 3 is next week, so you can go and watch episode 1 and 2 real quick, and then you'll be right with us.
Damn right. I love it, and I hope we continue those watch parties. It's really awesome to shed light on. It's really good to see where Table Story was and where we are today and where we're going to go.
It's very interesting how different it was back then.
Yes, it is. And you can have these conversations with Orcish. And also, if you found something relatable or you want to talk to Orcish about, please feel free to join us in our Under the Table thread in our Discord. Join our Discord. Leave your questions there. Orcish will answer when it piles up. We'll give you the answers, just like Leah and Wax Steven did. Orcish, is an absolute pleasure, man. Matt, man to man, dude. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate it, buddy. And anytime you want to reach out and talk, I am always available, dude. Always available. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And yes, I will definitely make your next Star Wars. I feel so bad about that.
Well, if you don't, we'll know that this was all a lie.
Yeah, exactly. It's a virtual contract right now. Everyone sees it. Like, but you remember episode 3. No, it's funny. I told Kiorki when she came, I was like, please, August, I'm sorry. You know, like, I told her to tell you that. And I was like, I'm going to reach out too. But nah, but thank you so very much. And thank you for joining us for Under the Table, episode 3, season 2. And everyone else, thank you so very much for joining us today. Again, remember that we have all these fantastic shows here on Table Story. You can catch them on the days that they are listed down below in the info section. Be sure to click on all those links. And if you have any questions, ask in our Discord. Also, the mods are fantastic. Some of the best mods on Twitch. Definitely feel free to reach out to them because they will have all the information for you. We could not do anything without them. And yes, Storians, thank you again for funding Table Stories Under the Table season 2. And we'll see you for episode 4 coming up with a very special guest that will be announced in Discord. So make sure you get there. I'm not going to do it now because you got to work for it. All right. Anyway, stay put. We're going to have some announcements for you that you probably already seen before, but if you haven't, you'll have some announcements. And until next time, see you later for more Under the Table. Ciao. Have a good one.
Hello there, welcome to Table Story. I wanted to take a moment to let you know some other ways that you can support the channel, see some extra merchandise, and find some additional content that you might not be aware of. Merch.tablestory.tv is our official merchandise store and membership feed. Here you can see some of the merchandise for the channel and shows, like these hoodies, these hats, this very elegant pillow, and more. There's also some additional content available, things like session zeros and pre-show ready workshop episodes of our shows. We also have a series we call the Green Room, which are short post-show chats with the casts of our shows recorded immediately after the episode airs live on Twitch. The Green Room content is available retroactively for any members at any level. However, there are additional elements and discounts for Storians that support at higher levels. You can also listen to all of your favorite Table Story shows in audio podcast format on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you find your podcasts. Please make sure to rate and subscribe to those too. It's incredibly helpful. Thank you. Lastly, if you miss any of the episodes live or you want to go back and watch previous series, all of our shows are available in playlists on YouTube, and every episode airs at noon Eastern the day after it airs live on Twitch. And thank you so much for watching and supporting Table Story. We hope you enjoy the merch and the content as much as we enjoy making it.